this Saturday. The Pain Game is live from Saudi Arabia with one of the best boxing cards of the year. 4 world titles are on the line, and it's headlined by the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. This man blasted his way through the super middleweight division to such a degree, he had Canelo running scared. Now he's moved up to the light heavyweight division, but standing in his way of an eventual showdown with Beterbiev is Britain's own bad man, the beast from the east, Anthony Yarde. 2 of the most devastating punchers in boxing. There will not be a step backwards. Never has a fight guaranteed violence more than this one. And in the co-main event, Devin the Dream Haney is going up in weight to compete for a world title in his 3rd different weight class. The defensive technician will look to right the wrongs of recent performances, but standing in his way is one of the most exciting fighters in boxing right now, Brian Norman Jr. The champ has been on a tear lately, rendering everyone in his path unconscious. Oh, and this one, it's getting personal.
Never knocked out nobody at the top. I know he's gonna say, oh, well, you gonna be the first one. Yeah, okay, sound good. We've heard this before. I know that he has power. We all know they got power. But against guys we've never seen before.
Will Haney be able to avoid that destructive power and outclass Norman Jr., or will he relive the nightmares of the Ryan Garcia fight? I'll be honest, I hope so. Because if Norman Jr. wins this, boxing has a new superstar. This is defensive perfection versus violent destruction. With the winner of this rumored to be facing Conor Benn in 2026, it's all to play for. And we'll find out who's more dangerous here, a man with everything to lose or a man with everything to gain. Don't miss it this Saturday live from Saudi Arabia on the Pain Game.
And a left hook to the body, and now David Benavidez comes upstairs and is trying to bring this alive.
Fucking hell. If you don't know by now, you should know. That man is David Benavidez, one of the most feared men in boxing right now. The man's 30-0, and he's just moved up a weight class because everyone was scared to fucking fight him, including Canelo Alvarez. Look at him, man. He's like fucking Batman. The aura is unreal. What's mad is this is him as like a young lad working out in Manny Pacquiao's gym.
How cool is it to be the only kid in the world to work out at the same gym where Manny Pacquiao's working out?
It's crazy. Like 2 months ago, I wouldn't even think I'd be here training with Manny.
Look at him, man. He's just an overweight kid just trying to get fit, and then now he's one of the greatest champions in boxing. Pound for pound top 10. Just shows out there, lads. If you want to put that fucking work in, you never know what can happen. Now, this is the opponent for David Benavidez this weekend, Anthony Yarde, London's own. And if Benavidez is Batman, then this kid is Bane, because I mean, he's just got the most ridiculous physique, power in both hands, and I can't wait for this fight. Obviously, we're going to be there in Saudi, we're going to be live, make sure you tune in, and I think this is a really risky fight. I think both fighters' chins are going to be well and truly tested here. Benavidez was the king of super middleweight, and now he's moved up to light heavyweight. He's still got a way to go before he proves, all right, I own this division as well fully. You've got Beterbiev, you've got Beterbiev, but now he's with Turki Al-Sheikh. He's on the fast track to becoming the superstar. But if he loses this one, which I mean, anything can happen when you're fighting Anthony Yarde, it will derail his entire fucking career. And Anthony Yarde, on the other hand, he's had a couple of title shots before. He performed very well against Beterbiev, really fucking well. We'll get into that in a bit, but you can't imagine he's got many title shots left. This is last chance saloon for him as well. And when you've got 2 ferocious punchers like these two, who are both in do-or-die situations, it makes for a fucking great fight. So let's take a look back at some of their fights and see how these lads match up. And we're also going to look at the face-off later to see if we can gauge who's really the more confident one. Now, this was David Benavidez's very first world title win at just 20 years old. What a joke, man, honestly. He's not the type to use major amounts of head movement or be using crazy footwork to try and evade punches. He's right in front of you. He's quite square on. He tries to defend with his hands a lot because he wants to stay right in front of you to keep the pressure going. He doesn't want you to feel like there's any rest. And whereby, yeah, sometimes, I mean, you can see he's turning the fucking heat up there, whereby you see some fighters trying to throw and they're throwing and then they're trying to move away from him. And he's just getting them into panic mode. And even if he takes a few knocks in the process, he doesn't mind because he knows this is draining you massively. I'd go as far as to say, like, Usyk is probably the best at mentally draining his opponent. David Benavidez is right up there for that. And what I like about Benavidez is sometimes, you know, if the opponent's shelling up a bit, he may invite pressure on to try and counterpunch you and create openings if he's not getting the openings. He's a smart kid, and he's a brave lad as well. He's got that mentality of a champion, right? He's not frightened of a fucking scrap. And of all the champions you'll see in boxing right now, like, he is the one who you can guarantee whenever he steps foot in the ring, it's a fucking war here. Like, if they're going to put up a fight, this is a war. If not, they're going to be crushed. There's no lackluster performances. Every time he steps foot through the ropes, there's a certain level that you're just guaranteed value for money every time. And this is Benavidez's first title defense, 21 years old or something. He's fighting a 30-year-old man here in Jalen Love. And what I liked about this one was that counter punch right there, motherfucker. Like, he allowed Jalen to, you know, invited the pressure on and just made him fucking pay. And when he hurts you, as you'll see, the man is fucking ferocious. It's outrageous, the level of damage and punishment he can inflict. And this is something for Anthony Yarde to think about. Like, don't get crazy with the pressure, because you will get caught. And this fight really showed a lot about how hard it is to fight Benavidez, because Jalen Love tried a different strategy. He tried to stick it on him, and even that didn't work, right? You know, with pressure fighters, sometimes they can't go backwards. He showed in this fight, actually, I'm 21 and I can do everything. And Floyd Mayweather not looking happy there, because Jalen was training out of his gym at the time, I think. I mean, that says a lot. The level of Jalen Love was good level. Benavidez made it look fucking easy, man. And that's why they call him the Mexican fucking monster right there. Look at that, man. That is a fucking, he's a serious guy. And at super middleweight, Benavidez had a size advantage on a lot of his opponents, right? I think that's one of the reasons Canelo was like, fuck that. He is just a literal mountain for that weight. And this guy here, to be fair, was a similar size to him. And he just did what he did to all of them. It didn't matter the size of this guy. He just slowly starts upping the pressure. And it's like a chef slow cooking the meat. You don't have to go after it too quickly. I'm just going to ever so slightly increase the pressure every fucking round. And before you know it, by the time we get to round 10, oh, you are boiling. And look, I fast forwarded it here to round 9, and you just see how this pressure is taking its toll. And it happened to everyone. You know, the reach that he's got, you can't really escape him. He just walks forward like the fucking Terminator. You can't escape him in there. And yeah, you can throw the odd punch out and hope and fucking keep him off for a second. It ain't going to work. Look at him. He's like a fucking predator. Relentless. What a beast, man. What a fucking... And look at that. You're literally running away from him. And not... I ain't talking Devin Haney running away. I'm wobbling away. Fucking hell. And luckily someone had mercy and stopped the fight. And this was a proper fucking fight. This Ellis, he came to fucking give some back, to be fair to him. But just, it almost sort of encourages Benavidez. He gets a taste for it. And with his hand speed, and that's something I haven't really touched on yet. Yes, he's got the stamina. Yes, he can apply the pressure. And a lot of stamina fighters, they're not the most explosive. His hand speed is outrageous. Look at this, man. Fuck me. How are you supposed to avoid this guy? It's a nightmare. And to be fair, he gave him a couple back there. Say, fucking have some of that then, you bastard. I'll give you another one. Just the combinations are some of the best in boxing, without a doubt. And you know, you end up in the corner, as they all do. They end up in the corner just like, oh, fuck. Cover for life, man. Fuck me. Look at that fucking hand speed against Davis, man. Jesus Christ. And this Davis guy really put up a fight, to be fair. You can see he's not that intimidated right now. He hasn't had the will broken yet. He's still throwing really hard. And this guy is a very quick and explosive fighter as well. But Benavidez covers up nicely, and he just doesn't stop applying the pressure. So he's not deterred, you know. They can throw a couple of punches back. He's like, yeah, fuck all that, mate. I don't give a shit. This ain't over for you. I'm not going to back off. You're not going to get my respect. What the fuck are we talking about here? I'm taking your soul here, kid. And look at it. It's just inevitable. You will be taken. I think one of the main reasons he's able to break people is his body punches. You see, he just sneaks them in every now and then. Boom, another one. Because there's tough guys who can take a shot to the head, but there you go, the towel's in. Those body punches, they really do break fighters. And when he does touch you on the chin, well, this is what happens. Do you know what I mean? booted him out the fucking ring there. Just great shot selection, a great sense of distance. I mean, he just does so much right. And apparently when Turki Al-Sheikh was looking for an opponent for David Benavidez, everyone said no. And you can see why, right? It's not a pleasant night at the office. Everyone said no, except Anthony Yarde. And that makes a lot of sense to me because Anthony Yarde has had some up and down performances, but the best performances have been when the pressure is really on. And when you've got a fighter in front of you who strikes fear in you to get up and be motivated, to train your hardest, to bring the best out of you, that's the perfect scenario for us to get the absolute best out of Anthony Yarde. I think this fight gives you a kind of a good idea of the level of power Anthony Yarde is capable of, because when he hits this guy, he literally just, he doesn't know where he is. He's laying against the ropes. He didn't know what was going on. He was just stood there. He was frozen in time. When you've got the kind of power that can make someone's soul leave their body, you got a chance. And honestly, I think he hits harder than Benavidez. I think Benavidez has advantages, obviously, but just sheer power, I would give the nod to Yarde. And I think early on, when Yarde's full of energy and he can let his hands go like this, his combinations as well. Benavidez got some good combinations. He's got some combinations of his own. He can drop fighters with his. And sometimes it's as simple, as a good old-fashioned fucking big right hand as well. And when his detonates, my God, they're just not the same afterwards. Like, they'll get up, but you already know this. It's over. You've been hit. Now he's a predator. Now he's coming to take your fucking what's left of you here. And I do like his finishing instincts. If he does get Benavidez hurt, and Benavidez has been hurt, especially since moving to light heavyweight, we've seen him hurt. He has to go in for the kill at light speed, because if you let Benavidez survive the gas tank, he'll come back, he'll fuck you up later in the fight. It is so key for Yarde. If you do get him hurt, kind of like when Anthony Joshua and some other fighters have sort of kind of hurt Usyk and they've not pounced on him. You got to fucking pounce on this guy, because if he survives, you're fucked. And look at that, man. He finds the chin from good angles, and sometimes it's just a case of swinging some good old-fashioned hooks as well. that guy, my God, this face on him afterwards when he got up, he looked like me with a hangover there. Fucking hell. And Yarde, again, showing those finishing instincts, going for fucking the kill, and look at it. Rightly called off. You see why I'm looking forward to this fight, right? I've complained about Devin Haney earlier this week. This ain't no Devin Haney. This is two fucking warriors who can bang. There is no way this isn't a good fight. There is no fucking way. And I said before, Benavidez had good body shots. Well, so does Anthony Yarde. That was a fucking brutal body shot. Get up if you fucking dare. And I think that's going to be key. I think, ironically, some of the things Benavidez does really well is also the way to give yourself a chance of beating him, of doing the things he does well back to him. Combination punches, starting fast, working the body. Yarde can do all of those. I just don't think Yarde can do them for as long as Benavidez can do them, because his cardio is a joke. And the hand speed as well of Yarde is on show in this one. Look at that 1-2 there. Like, he is capable of great things in there. And I think it's a source of frustration for his fans, because you kind of see some performances of him and you think, if you could just keep fighting like this and put it all together consistently, you could be one of the best guys. And he talks about it in the face-off of why now is probably the right time for him to have this moment. Maybe the other times came a bit too early for him. For me, this was the best performance so far from Anthony Yarde. It was a win against Lyndon Arthur, who'd beaten him previously, and he came in on smoke, and he goes and sticks it on him very fast, very early. And when you're, in my opinion, the more explosive guy, the one with the power, and you know he's got the cardio on you, you don't really want to go for a 12-round fight with him. I've talked about this before when I talked about Alexander Usyk. You can't beat Usyk over the distance, really. You've got to plan it as like a 6-round fight and just leave it all out there in those 6 rounds and go and put a fucking beating on him as best as you can. Yes, you might get caught. Guess what? If you make it to the distance, you're fucking losing for definite. At least with your rolling the dice, you got to fucking pray. And genuinely, I fucking love the belief and the attitude to come into a fight where you've already lost against them before and to treat him like he's nothing. That shows that he's got mental ability to believe in himself, to be a champion in the right circumstances, because he should have been a bit wary in here. Look at him. He's a fucking wrecking machine, and he's giving him no respect whatsoever. And you can see the explosiveness in him. I mean, he's like, I called him Bane earlier. It's not a bad fucking comparison. He's a fucking machine. And this is the end of the very first round, right? Yarde catches him with a lovely hook and just starts letting rip. I mean, the first round needs to look like this. It needs to be you pushing Benavidez back. It can't be Benavidez pushing you back. If he starts on the front foot, then there's no way for you to go, in my opinion. And this is in the 4th round. A lovely right hand lands from Arthur, but look at the way Yarde responds. Fucking, let's have it then. Fucking rights, mate. You want some? I'll give it you. And he just piles the pressure on. And Lyndon Arthur's a tough motherfucker, to be fair. And he's doing the right things. He's tying up. But Anthony Yarde in this fight just wouldn't be denied. And that is the only mentality he can have coming into this big title fight. If he's not on smoke, he isn't winning. And a beautiful combination here. And Arthur goes down. And literally, that was the end of it. He'd just been steamrolled. Now, if I was Team Benavidez, I would look at that and I would be concerned. Not that they can't handle him and that they can't win the fight, but at super middleweight, because he was so massive, he would just walk you down and fucking impose his will on you. At light heavyweight, with those bigger guys, and fucking Yarde's a mountain, it's not quite been as one-way traffic. It's not quite been anywhere near as dominant, if I'm honest. So this is round 7 of his first fight at light heavyweight against Gwozdzik, I think is the way he's pronounced it. And look, this is a much bigger guy than what he was fighting at super middleweight. And the pressure that he is now receiving, and don't get me wrong, he was putting the pressure on him early on in the rounds, but it wasn't the same. And the way a bigger man can cope with the pressure, still have power, the fights just don't look the same anymore. It's not as one-sided. And don't get me wrong, Benavidez still the fucking better fighter. Still can take this lick, still will outpunch you, outbox you. But Yarde will get chances here. You see, if he gets in a situation like this where it's like, you have a shot, I have a shot, you have a shot, I have a shot, with Anthony Yarde, who potentially hits harder, maybe not in the later rounds, I think that will even out as the fight goes on, that could be dangerous. What I will say is that was his first fight at light heavyweight. It was an underwhelming performance, and he came back way stronger in his last fight. And actually, when you look at the tail of the tape here, this kid he was fighting was younger, has a better reach, taller, so all of the physical advantages that he had at super middleweight are completely gone, and if anything, he's at a disadvantage. And he looked better physically here. He piled the pressure on, but what I will say is this kid fucking had a lot going for him as well. He was explosive as fuck. If I'm Yarde, I'm kind of looking at this fight as a bit of a blueprint of fighting in spots, right? You're going to have to let Benavidez, understand he's going to be putting the pressure on, but when you do get the opportunity to counter him, use your explosiveness, because that's what this kid did. And this was one of the best fights of the year, in my opinion. It was fucking phenomenal. I mean, these two went to war here. And actually, it was one of the few times where I've really seen Benavidez a little bit hurt here. I mean, his legs went there, fucking hell. And what I love about it, look at the way he responds. Is he running away? Is he stumbling away? Is he hands up, gloves up? Let's fucking go, motherfucker. And he clips him back. And this is why David Benavidez is fucking box office, man. Look at this. This is phenomenal. No fucking backstepping. I don't care if I'm hurt. Let's fucking go. Come on, then. Brilliant boxing. I think Morrell, later on in the fight, knew he was down on the scorecards. He tried to sort of pull something out the bag here. And Benavidez responds like a real warrior there. Like, come on, then. And I love that about Benavidez. It doesn't matter. Sometimes fighters are up on the scorecards. They're like, fuck this. Let me just play it safe. He wants to be in the fire. Always. We are firemen. And what I will say is, even though Benavidez looked better in his second fight at light heavyweight, he still didn't look the same later in the fight. Yes, his cardio was better than their cardio, but he's still vulnerable. And that was scored a knockdown there. I don't think it was like a proper thudding power punch or anything like that, but he's just not defensively as perfect later in the rounds as he used to be when he was fighting the smaller guys. Now, let's take a look at the last time Anthony Yarde fought for a world title against Beterbiev. Now, Beterbiev for me is the best light heavyweight I've ever seen. In his prime, he's so dangerous, he's so undeniable, and that's what made Yarde's performance in this fight all the more impressive, because he was so explosive, and he actually countered Beterbiev. He caught him coming in, and early on, Beterbiev really found it hard with his entries, because the kid's hands are just so fucking explosive. Look at that, man. That lovely left hook. Beautiful. And that's where you see some of the game plan that he has to have for Benavidez. When he's coming in, absolutely throw that fucking left hook. Again, Beterbiev tries to bully him in the corner, and he responds brilliantly here, Anthony Yarde. Good shots of his own, another check left hook, and he caught Beterbiev with that. Then a nice backhand, just lovely uppercut. I mean, this was spectacular. You're at the very highest level here, absolutely. It's can he pull this out against Benavidez now. If not now, then when? It's your final title shot of your life, mate. And one thing I will say is, look, obviously Yarde lost this fight, and Beterbiev flipped the script on him, but he did it through real wrecking machine power punching. And I don't think Benavidez hits as hard as Beterbiev. I know he doesn't. Look at that, man. Fucking backhand lights him up. He's going to have his hands up better than that against David Benavidez, because he does have long arms and he can find you. But this is, I mean, you showed a lot of heart as well here, Yarde, to be fair. Like, he really didn't go down without a fight, and that's another good sign. And you can see, actually, Beterbiev's hurt here. And then, before you know it, 2 punches later, the script is fucking flipped. That was what this fight was like. It was one of my favourite fights of all time. I mean, 1 minute, one's on the front foot. The next minute, it's completely changed. And the only thing I am worried about is, like, has this fight taken a lot out of him? Like, he's not necessarily looked his best since then. But again, I can really imagine Benavidez putting that pressure on, just like we're seeing now, and a lovely check left hook from Yarde. This is exactly what he needs to be looking out for. And then when you do catch him, go for the backhand, exactly like that. And if he gets him in this position, he has to fucking go balls to the wall, though. Absolutely has to, because he let him off with this here. And to be fair, great boxing from Beterbiev. Beterbiev, when he is hurt, I mean, you just wouldn't fucking know it. He's a joke. So as much as David Benavidez is the heavy favourite, and rightly so, because some of the recent performances from Yarde have been hit and miss. As a Brit supporting the lad from London, I've got hope for him in this fight. I just have a lot of appreciation for the mental strength of David Benavidez. You're going to have to nail him to the canvas, which is why I'm saying you got to go out there and try and finish him. If you try and box with him and go point for point, he will get you. He will come back from the dead. He's a fucking zombie. But let's take a look at what they're saying to each other in the face-off.
If this fight got offered to me and I didn't take it, I'll question myself. Why?
Do you see a weakness there then? Do you look at that and think, okay, there's holes there?
Regardless. You know, no boxer, as they say, no boxer is perfect. No boxer without flaws. With my power, again, if I land on him, you know, at the wrong time, he's gone. Same thing for him with me. You know, he's a big volume puncher, great pressure, etc. But styles make fights. But I think what makes this such an exciting fight is the fact that anybody I've hit, anybody, their legs have gone. Even at the highest of levels.
I'm surprised at how confident he sounds. I mean, obviously you should be confident, but like, it's almost like he's got a secret that no one knows. He's very like, oh, I got something for you, bro. I like it.
I think Benavidez wants to fight anybody. He's like me. He was just like, who is there? Canelo, look, let me fight somebody, entertain him. But Turkey Al Sheikh wanted me for this fight.
Okay. So you've both almost chosen each other then?
At the end of the day, he's the only one that came to the table ready to fight.
Exactly.
Nobody else. Everybody had excuses. Nobody wanted to fight. Nobody wanted this. He's the only one that came to the table. And that's why we're here right now.
The one thing that surprised me since getting into boxing, and this is just because I hear everything now, because like people tell me all sorts of shit. How many fighters constantly turn down fights against the top guys? All the time. All the fucking time. And it's weird because as boxing fans, we look up to these guys. They're like the bravest men, you know, because fucking getting into fucking boxing in front of everyone watching you in fucking shorts and smashing someone and potentially getting knocked out. It's fucking scary. So we admire that. But a lot of them give it a lot of that and they're not actually, they're very much like, that's a bit hard. I'm going to go this way. It's so much more than we would ever think. And this is why I call David Benavidez the fucking most feared man in boxing, because you literally had a situation where no one's saying yes. Because it's a horrible night out. It's a fucking horrible night. And that's why we've got to give credit to Anthony Yarde for saying yes, but also to Turkey Al Sheikh for figuring this out, because Turkey's got a habit of getting boxers who are like undefeated, who no one can ever beat them in theory, and then just picking the perfect person to come along and beat them. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but he has got form for it.
What do you do better than him?
I think I hit harder. I think we'll just wait and see.
It's not like, I know something. He's very confident in his power. That's what I'm saying here.
He thinks he hits harder than me. I think you're just trying to stir the pot up. That's what you're trying to do. That's what you're trying to do.
I'm just a fan asking the questions.
No, like at the end of the day, this guy has tremendous power. He has a great boxing ability. He has a great hook. I've checked everything out. I've watched him really good. He does a lot of stuff good. So that makes, I gotta be in there. I gotta be on my P's and Q's. I gotta be 110%. And this is why I'm so motivated for this fight, because this guy is super hungry. I'm super hungry. And this is what we need in the sport of boxing. We need two fighters that just want to go in there and give the fans the best fight possible, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Nobody else came to the table. Other fighters were offered a fight with me, Everybody says that I'm not this, I'm not that, but nobody comes to the table. Why is this the only guy that came to the table? Nobody else came to the table. Everybody had other stuff to do, supposedly.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I'm busy that day. Yeah, a family thing. I'll catch you on the next one, though, yeah? I really like the way these two are speaking here. It's not like, oh, we're fake beefing for the cameras. It's very much like, we don't even need to do that because you've all seen how we fight. We're coming straight ahead and we're going to throw fucking thunder. Proper fight. And we're going to get a lot of answers to questions about Benavidez. Like, you haven't looked quite as dominant in your recent light heavyweight fights. This one will expose if he's not the same force at this weight class. Because he's going to get hit hard. Very hard. And this needs to be a statement performance because you've got killers like Beterbiev, like Dmitry Bivol waiting in the wings for this guy. And apparently, Benavidez sparred Bivol and actually did very fucking well. Apparently, dropped Bivol, which would mean if, he's probably the real fucking deal. But we're going to find out. And we are going to find out live from Saudi Arabia, the 22nd of November, Saturday night. And it's not just the main event, the co-main event. Haney versus Norman. I am praying Brian Norman is the future. I just want to see Devin Haney slept. No more talk. No more bravado. Shut up to your dad as well. Me and the boys can't wait for this. We will see you all there live on the Paying Game YouTube channel. I'll catch you on the next one.